Cumhurbaşkanımız Sayın Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'a konuşmalarını yapmak üzere kürsüye teşriflerini arz ediyorum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi işrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve hlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli. Rabbi kad ateyteni minel mülki ve allemteni min tevilil ahadisi. Rabbi zidni ilmen ve fehmen ve elhakni bis salihin. Saygıdeğer kardeşlerim,
Distinguished brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Cambridge and Mr. James Palmer from the mayorship, United Kingdom Minister Lord Ahmed, and Cambridge Mayor of Municipality Gary Bird, distinguished members of the trustee board, and the valuable members of the Muslim community living in Cambridge. Beloved citizens, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to greet you with the most sincere of greetings, and may the peace and mercy of Allah be upon you all. So from here we are speaking to the citizens of United Kingdom all over the country, and I would like to send our greetings and love to all of them, regardless of their faith, religion, race, and language. And I would like to send my love to all of them. This is the first eco-mosque of Europe, and the Cambridge Mosque and its social complex will be inaugurated today, and this is the great opportunity we have used to come together with you, which makes us exceedingly happy. And I would like to extend my thanks to God for enabling me to be here today with you. And I would like to thank you all for sharing our joy for the opening of this mosque. So please accept my thanks on behalf of my country. Today in Cambridge we have gathered not only to open a mosque, but at the same time we are here to highlight the fact that all pieces of this mosque actually refer to a kind of unity and oneness that we seek for, and this is a gift for this beautiful city. It's the work of almost a decade, and in Cambridge, starting with Muslim people and the people living here, I really wish that this mosque will be of utmost goodness for all people. The architect of our mosque, David Marks, should be thanked sincerely for the great work he has put in. And at the same time, during his education at Cambridge University, Miss Baraka Khan, whom we lost much too early, needs to be remembered today as well. Baraka was fighting against a very bad illness, and as she was fighting again for her life, she had started a campaign for this mosque and collected donations. And with the help of these donations collected by Baraka, this mosque was made possible. And in order to keep her memory alive, we have called here the room of fertility and wealth. So I heartily wish that God, Allah, will accept her donations and what he did. The London Bridge attack caused people, and we have lost people also students from Cambridge University. So I would like to share my condolences with people, the relatives of the lost ones. Cambridge Mosque is a work of solidarity and of working together. So many stakeholders have contributed to the building of this mosque, starting with Turkish Religious Foundation, the Diyanet, and other stakeholders working with Diyanet. And Mr. Abdul Hakim Murat, Mr. Yusuf Islam, our brothers, have also worked and did a lot for this mosque, for this project. So in the meantime, we should not forget our beloved girl, Zainab. She really worked very hard. She really worked very hard, and she made me work hard as well, so I thank her. So from the workers to the engineers, from the architects to the inscribers of these lovely inscriptions, Hussein, our inscriber, and Professor Kutlu, of course, all these people need to be thanked heartily. And our master, Hussein Kutlu, you can see all his works all around us, and his work is a kind of bridge that enables us to remember him, and we wish him a good and long life in full health. Of course, in the meantime, the carpenters, the workers who have worked for this mosque should be congratulated as well, because when you look all around you, you will see that very good masters, very good carpenters have put their great effort into this building. And I have asked people around me, because there are no nails, so this is completely timber work, and they are all interconnected without using any iron elements or combining elements like nails. So history will be witnessing the construction of this great work. And one of the monuments of timber architecture, and which has also been awarded with many awards, Cambridge Mosque has a capacity of 1,300 people, very much like those who have supported the project, because in the very architecture of this mosque, we are talking about a cultural diversity and richness. The social complex is covering an area of 5,200 square meters, and the complex includes nurseries, restaurants, cafes, libraries, and training rooms, along with many other facilities. In addition to all these characteristics, Cambridge Mosque is a first in the sense that it's the first eco-friendly mosque with its natural ventilation and solar panels and heat pumps and rain photo harvesting technologies installed in the building, and the lighting from the roof and its green roof. So all these hint at cutting-edge technology which has been used in the building of this mosque. So this mosque, with all these characteristics, as I have just mentioned, is the first eco-friendly mosque of Europe. In addition to these, the social complex of Cambridge Mosque also reflects our tradition of welcoming guests and our hospitality. And the front garden of the mosque opens up both to heaven and to the beauties of this worldly life. So it's a kind of original perspective which highlights the unity and balance of the two that we should be seeking. And training and education define the city of Cambridge, and it has differentiated itself from other cities around the world with its strength in these fields. So this praying space, which has been opened in this great city, will be complementing this education and training stance of Cambridge. This mosque is the epitome of solidarity and staying together. And I very much hope that this mosque will continue to be a center for peace and solidarity and mutual dialogue. Together with our citizens living in the UK and for all Muslim people around the world, will hopefully cherish in the opening of this mosque. As you all know, during the last few days, I have been in London for the 70th anniversary of NATO alliance, and we had our meetings, which have ended yesterday. And today, well, we are in this Cambridge Mosque for the opening ceremony. It has been a very meaningful meeting indeed, and I very much hope that the continuation of this meeting will be equally hope-inspiring for all of us. Dear brothers and sisters, we are going through some dire and difficult times. For centuries, we have been seeing our values, which used to keep humanity together, on the great attack. Racism, discrimination, and Islamophobia have been pollinating like poisonous ivy all around the world in all countries. So workplaces, houses and praying spaces belonging to Muslim people around the world are targets of fascist people and terrorists around the world. Just because they are wearing turbans, Muslim people are being discriminated in their workplaces and on the street. So it's not only about Muslim people, we are talking about the black, the Jews, and regardless of their race and ethnic origins and belief, all people take their share out of this hatred. And there are irrational attacks to praying spaces around the world. Remember New Zealand, where the mosques were attacked, churches, and in the United States there were attacks to synagogues as well. So in these attacks, we have lost people who were only praying for their gods, and hundreds of people lost their lives, and dozens of them were wounded. On the other hand, even during times of war, you should not attack praying spaces and mosques and churches. Throughout history, people have sought refuge in mosques and churches, and those people have been protected no matter who they are and where they are coming from. So if we are talking about burning and bringing down praying spaces, mosques and churches, and if we see people being killed just because they belong to another faith, we can say that we are in a very tragic situation. So terrorism is an issue not only for our country, it's a common enemy for all people all around the world. So Islam, if you look at the etymology of the word, its origin, its root refers to the very word of peace. So a word which means peace cannot be used together with the word terror or terrorism. You cannot use the two words side by side. So if you keep on doing this, then those who will be doing this will be cursed. Because, I mean, thinking about Islam and Muslim people, you cannot go into a sweeping generalization and say that Islam supports terrorism all around the world. You cannot come up with such an argument. I am the president of the Republic of Turkey at the moment, and Turkey is the #1 country fighting against Daesh. So you cannot find any other second country putting as much effort as we put in this fight against terrorism and Daesh. Only in Syria, in El Bab, we have neutralized for about 3,000 Daesh members, and the process is still going on because the terrorists of the Daesh group have nothing to do with Islam, and they are not amongst us. In our religion, you cannot kill an innocent person. If you kill one innocent person, Islam would deem you as someone who killed all humanity. So you cannot have terrorists from Islam, or you cannot have a terrorist Muslim. So we shall not accept these arguments against Islam, like Islam propagating terrorism. So we reject this. You cannot come up with a discrimination of terrorism like good terrorism or bad terrorism. So we cannot fall into this error. Terrorists, no matter who they are, what they are all bad. And terrorism is completely bad. And it should be cursed. Terrorists have caused our land to shed tears for decades. It could be a terrorist from PKK or Daesh, or what we can still, I mean, we can even talk about a neo-Nazi, and all those people are terrorists. Regardless of their name and ideology, all these people are like vampires who would like to drink blood, and they are murderers. So the London bridge attack, where civilians were killed, and those who attack churches and synagogues, and also remembering the coup attempt in our country and the veto members who did that coup attempt, there are no differences amongst these people. During the last 35 years, we have lost children, teachers, and even unborn babies. We have lost tens of thousands of people in our country to PKK. So Daesh is the same for us. Turkey, as a country that knows the pain of terrorism very deeply, we are determined to fight against terrorism, and we expect to see a stronger reaction and fight against terrorism all around the world as well. We have to keep this fight going on. We have to forget about historical prejudices, and we have to stay together against crimes of hatred. Leaders of religion and politics, and especially the media, should shoulder great responsibility to this end and to raise awareness in societies. Western politicians and media institutions in Europe or in the United States should keep away from discriminative discourses and allegations that would put Muslim people under suspicion. So the United Kingdom authorities, well, let me express that we are ready to support you in this fight against terrorism. Dear brothers and sisters, 5 times a day, these mosques call out to people with their call for prayers, and they call people to union, to staying together. So every mosque on the face of the earth, they're all reflections of God in this earth. And the mosques to which we go for prayer unite us. They embrace us, and we embrace one another. And they soften our hearts, which have been hardened by the hardships of daily lives that we lead. So these mosques, these praying spaces, remind us of our reason to exist, why we are here. So under the domes of mosques, you cannot come up with any discrimination. It doesn't make any difference whether you're an Arab or a Turkish person or a British person or a Syrian. So we are all here together. Do we have any rich people or poor people? Do we have black people, white people here? No, we do not have discrimination here. We do not have discrimination here, and we should not have discrimination on the streets and in the squares of our cities as well. People under this dome, regardless of their religion, faith, creed and race and color and language, well, they are together here, regardless of their differences, because in the face of Allah, they are all equal, as the recitation from the Quran has reminded us very beautifully. Mosques are the symbols of this unity and brotherhood and sisterhood. And our Prophet, peace be upon him, has always preached this, and since the times of our Prophet, mosques have been centers for learning. So it's not your sole responsibility to call people for prayer here and perform your daily prayers. that no, this will not be your only responsibility. We expect you to train and educate people and to raise that kind of awareness amongst them. Otherwise, praying 5 times a day and making people pray 5 times a day is such an easy thing. But we have other responsibilities which are more serious. So you need to build circles, and together with those circles, you will be able to train our children. And this will be the very place where that kind of education will be transmitted to our children. So we are talking about children who are the joy of our houses and the warranty of our futures. So we need to have more children in mosques. We need to have more women in mosques. And non-Muslim people should also be able to come into these places as a social complex, as a facility, as easily as possible. And regardless of any city, poor people should also benefit from the social facilities of mosques as well. And this place should function like this. And let me remind you of this chapter from Quran. So our God in the Quran tells us that please enter our mosques with greetings and with security and in safety. So mosques are for all humanity and for people. So under this holy roof, there is no place for discrimination and for hatred. So all our brothers and sisters and our friends living in Cambridge should be able to come here in peace and in safety. And this is what I expect them. Let me end my speech with a quotation from Yunus Emre, the architect of Anatolian spirituality. And it's like a lesson in itself. Hopefully the interpretation will be properly done. If you have broken a heart once, your prayer will not be a prayer. Even 72 nations, well, they are all in unity. If you have mended a heart and made someone happy, and if you helped and extended a helping hand to people, then this is real worship and prayer. There is a path which is proper, and there are eyes that should see God. And you should be modest. So eyes do not overlook from above. So I heartily wish that our God will enable us to make and mend hearts and make people happy. So with these words, let me end my speech. And once again, let me extend my thanks to the ministries of the United Kingdom for their hospitality and for enabling and contributing to the building of this mosque. So thanks to the government of United Kingdom and the municipality of Cambridge on behalf of the Muslim community. So I would like to thank our distinguished guests for honoring the inauguration of the Cambridge Mosque, and I heartily wish that this will bring safety and welfare to all Europe as a center of all our ideals, and I wish your worship and prayers will be acceptable in the eyes of Allah. Thank you.
Cumhurbaşkanı Sözcümüz İbrahim Kalın'ı ve Zeynep Koç ve Süheyl Bahatti'yi ve Yusuf İslam'ı da buraya alabilirsek